Hello, hello, and welcome to Wednesdays for the National Poetry Month Summit. I'm here with Jay Ward. How are you doing, Jay?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm great. I'm excited. We're getting in the home stretch now. How many weeks? We got like 1 week left of
One
April?
week left already. It's
Heck
almost over
yes.
already.
I'm super excited. So tell me about how it's been this past week for you.
So I challenged myself. I was talking to Angelo Iambic, and I was telling him that I don't like the erasure poems I've tried to do in the past weren't really good. But I'm working on this manuscript, trying to combine forms and everything. So I started working on some erasure poems, and that's what I've been doing this week. I got 3 done. And I took a different approach with each one. So one of them is an erasure form of a document, and it's an erasure, so it just shows the words that are left. And then the second one was a blackout poem using a letter. So that turned out pretty good. And then the one I'm probably going to read today is an erasure of a document, but then I took the erasure and made a guzzle from it.
Ooh, that sounds really cool. I love erasure poems. Elaine Hill does them very well too. I don't know if you've ever heard some of hers, but they're
I
good.
have,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've submitted some works to some publications, so I'm utilizing that huge mega publication list that we sent out. So that's exciting. And I hear back from one of those in, I think, the first week of May. So I can't wait on that. I did get one poem published. So woo, celebrate.
Congratulations.
Yes. And I'm enjoying all the open mics too. Shout out to Lovely and Two Team. They got an open mic tonight. There's a lot of amazing things, and there's a lot of amazing workshops. Roscoe Burnham's is doing one on how to get your poetry show or your feature onto Amazon Prime so that people could watch it as like an actual like showcase, which is super cool. So I'm excited for that workshop.
I might watch that one too. That's on Friday, I think, right?
Yeah, it's on Friday. Also, before we get started, we're starting to get some questions in for the panel, so that's exciting, and that's next week on
Yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. There's going to be a lot of really cool questions that we're going to answer and help people with their craft. So if you have a question and you're watching this, please comment on the video or email us and let us know so we can address it during the panel. It's going to be great.
Yeah, awesome. I'm looking forward to the panel.
Yes. So let's get into this work. I'll let
Okay,
you go first.
I will go first. That is my thing. Um, all right, so I'll explain what a guzzle is after this for anybody that might not know. Um, but then, so this is titled Guzzle Number One because it's the first one that I've written that I like. It is an erasure of the Racial Integrity Act of 1924, which is basically Virginia's anti-miscegenation laws that was repealed after the Virginia versus Loving case, or Loving versus Virginia case. All right, so be it enacted, any Negro or mixture thereof shall be punished by the penitentiary. For each registration properly made, the registrant shall be humbled by the penitentiary. Marriage shall be granted to applicants of pure white race only, no epithalamium sung in the penitentiary. Save a white person, no other non-Caucasic blood shall avoid running from the penitentiary. The state shall be paid for the purposes of this act, funded by the penitentiary. All inconsistent with this act shall swell and swell, flooding the penitentiary. All right, so there's 7 parts to this act, like 7 numbered parts. And I took, using the erasure, I made one line from each of those 7 parts. And then used the line from the second part, which is about the penitentiary, to form the repeating line that happens in each couplet. So there's 7 couplets representing the seven acts. And the guzzle basically is, I mean, you could probably tell by listening to it. So it's couplets, and it can be any number from like 3 to whatever. It's just got to be an odd number of couplets. So this was 7. The second line becomes the repeating line of each couplet, but it does need to change somewhere. So usually there's a rhyme in it, but the rhyme isn't on the N word. The rhyme is on the word before the N word. So, or some word before the N word. So penitentiary gets repeated, but instead of punished by, there's no, like, I didn't use perfect rhymes. Instead of punished by the penitentiary, it became humbled by the penitentiary, which became, other things that rhymed with, or kind of rhymed with, punished. Yeah, and that's how guzzles work. And I've been like completely afraid of guzzles for a long time. So anyway, that was my take on it, was to combine the erasure form with the guzzle form.
That's really interesting. I love the way that it utilizes that repetition, but in a way that's subtle. Like it's a great way to have repetition in there that's not like overbearing. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I could see how that would be an intimidating form, but when it's done, it works. It's effective.
The manuscript I'm working on, in addition to, combining forms or changing the rules of form a little bit, it is also about me being mixed and growing up in the South. So, all those things at play. But basically, for this document, the Anti-Miscegenation Law was the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. So that's what I used for that poem. But I also have a poem, Virginia Health Bulletin, that was used to announce that act. I did an erasure poem from that. And then Mildred Loving, who is the wife, the African-American wife of the white man, Richard Loving, she wrote a letter to the president, first to the attorney general and then to the president. So I made an erasure poem of the letter that was written to the president.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And I think that that's really powerful to use documents of history like that. And it's almost like taking out the fluff and like looking at what that document is really saying. That's powerful, Jay. Yeah. I'm excited about that book. Like when you get it done. Are you going to send it to a publisher, or are you going to try to self-publish?
No, I'm going to send it to a publisher. I have one publisher that asked me if I had any manuscripts that I was working on. And I told them about this one and they were excited about it. But I was supposed to send it to them in March. And now it's probably going to be more like June before this thing is ready. But I'll send it to them. I'm working with a publisher on the microchat book that should be released soon. I will probably send it to them out of courtesy just to see if they're interested. And then my Dream Press, I kind of pitched this to the editor of my Dream Press back in October, and was supposed to meet up with him again at AWP, which, AWP, a lot of people didn't go this year. So I might send it to him if I can find a way to not make it seem like it's a cold call. Like if I can
Right.
not make it seem like a cold call, I might send it there too. But other than that, I'll send it to contest.
It's always a great feeling when someone asks you for a manuscript, like if you have one, that's like the area you want to be in. So that's awesome. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait for that to come out. We'll definitely have to share that and promote it. Great work, Jay. Yes.
All right, what you got?
I have a spoken word poem that I've been trying to edit for the page. So it's not quite there yet, but this is like the first edit from it. And it's from the Road Hunger book. I wake up to the clanging of the engine, sounding like a panic attack grasping for a shoulder. I don't know what I'm doing here. Pulled over on exit 87 off Highway 85, my chest an accordion. I remember the storm coming, how the clouds stacked against themselves like a promise. Maybe I was looking for my mother, being triggered by the thunder. The night she died, it stormed so bad, just like it did when my father passed, that I hid under the covers as it shook the entire house, and I screamed, "Mama, please, please stop." My heart, a strangled rabbit, running from the scream of a cut throat. I try to remember what my friend told me about panic, told me to grab something solid, tell yourself you are here, you are safe. But all I can hear is "Run, rabbit." Everybody got an axe and a watch, drawing near with sharp spades and cards. When all you can feel is fear, you can't trust anyone. The steering wheel isn't solid enough, and my grip slides too much. As a kid, it used to be fun. We would climb to the top of the slide, go down so fast we could feel our stomachs and our throats. But there's no arms to catch me now, just my mother's ghost. Some days there isn't enough highway to outrun the storm. When it feels like the bottom will fall out from the clouds, from my home, my headlights blinking hazard to the horizon, put the car back in drive, grip the gear stick and tell myself, you are here, you are safe, just go back. But I drive on, headed south, my hands two landslides of sand, everything in me running from the collapse.
Mm, mm. That's amazing. It's good stuff. And this is the one you're converting into page, like editing for
Yes.
page.
Yes. So I've been playing with taking out the personal, like the taking out I's, taking out me's, things like that, to kind of see how that affects the poem. And I haven't done it yet with this one. And I've noticed that sometimes I actually like it better when it's not my voice, it's an objective voice, like a bearing witness instead of me having the experience. For some reason, when you read it on the page, sometimes it hits harder. But I think on stage, it can hit hard when you have that personal dialogue happening. But on page, something else happens when you take those words out. So yeah, I'm just going to do a couple different things with it. I don't think I'm going to do any form with it, but definitely trying to play with the line breaks, play with what words can I take out. Right now, it's like one line too long to be a one-page poem. So I'd love to try to shorten it and see like how much punch I could pack into there by taking some unnecessary things out. So.
Well, I think this is definitely one you should submit. I mean, do whatever tinkering to it that you feel, but then I think you should definitely submit this one. Like the images hit really hard, but also I don't know, is that internal dialogue?
Yeah, it's internal. So yeah, that's internal dialogue as that's happening.
Yeah, I think the combination of the imagery going back in and forth with the internal dialogue is super powerful. Like there's so much being said there that's not necessarily being said, which is great. Yeah, I'm excited about that one. Even right now, I'm excited about it. But when you tinker with it, I would love to hear it again.
I'll totally do that because I'm probably going to put it through a few more edits. So thank you for that. I might pick a few more publications to send out because tip y'all, if you really want to get published, it's not really a matter of of sending it out to one and stopping. It's like you have to send it out to many, many publishers to get in to one. So
It's a numbers game for sure.
it totally is. It is a numbers game. So don't be concerned with the amount of rejections you get. Just know that you're one step closer to it being accepted. Let's give our viewers a challenge this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you go ahead and I'm gonna think of one.
I had forgotten to think of one, but you know what I think would be fun? Here's what I think would be fun. I think go find a poem of yours that you kind of think you're finished with, but you also not sure what to do with it. Like it feels like it's finished, but also doesn't feel to you like it's good, right? So one of those poems that are like in a pile, it might be an old poem, and do an erasure poem of your own poem.
I like that.
Yeah, do
I
that.
like that.
I think that'll provide some juxtaposition and some wording that you wouldn't typically do.
I am going to suggest a blackout poem then. So take an article, a magazine article or a newspaper article, and then use a Sharpie and mark out the words that you don't want to leave the words that you do. And if you are confused on how to do that, I will be doing a blackout poem workshop live on the Guerrilla Poets Facebook page at 6 o'clock. So you could do it with me, and I'm going to show you how to incorporate art into it as well. If you missed the live feed, don't worry. I'm going to leave the video posted. So you can do it at 2 a.m. when you're unable to sleep. So you can get on there and check it out.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, keep writing, poets, and please submit a question to the panel so that we can address it next Wednesday. We are excited about that. We've got some incredible poets on the panel. So please use us while you got us.
All right. Have fun, writers. You got 1 week left.
1 week. You got this.